Ever since I have watched the Sandeep Reddy Vanga and Ranbir Kapoor project, I have had a lot of discussion with different people about this film. Also, I have watched a lot of YouTube creators talk about this film, and a lot of people believe that Sandeep Reddy Vanga has pushed the limits of Bollywood with his film. When casual filmgoers say this about Animal, I have no problem and I understand it all. But when creators who claim to be film enthusiasts say the same, it bugs me. Because not only do they overhype a below average piece of cinema, but they also dismiss a lot of great movies that Bollywood has already made in the same genre a decade before Animal came out. Like I said in my review, I don't have a comment on violence, but my boundary of gruesome violence doesn't reside on a character killing someone off screen then getting drenched in the blood of his victim. But I get it. Seeing Ranbir Kapoor covered in blood is shocking for a lot of people. Had violence not been the main point of discussion about this film when it was being marketed, I would have been very happy with the amount of bloodshed and violence we see in the film. But sadly, we were made to believe that we are going to see something that we have never seen in Indian cinema, and sadly, I did not feel that way while watching Animal. Now, I'll tell you about a Bollywood film that is in the same genre but is far more engaging and far better than Animal in terms of character, storytelling, and violence. And that film is Gangs of Wasipur. Part 1 and 2 combined. Gangs of Wasipur is also about a son going on a path of violence to avenge his father. The brutal murder of Ramadhir Singh at the end of Gangs of Wasipur 2 is much more violent, thrilling, and satisfying as compared to the post-credit madness of Animal. Now one might argue that when Gangs of Wasipur was made, there was no big name actor attached to it and it was not a typical Bollywood film. While on the other hand, Animal is a film starring one of the most talented and most popular actors of our country. And that is quite a valid point. But in defense of that point, I would like to remind everyone of a little film called Agneepath, starring Hrithik Roshan as the protagonist, Sanjay Dutt as the antagonist, Rishi Kapoor and Priyanka Chopra in supporting roles, and Katrina Kaif in an item song. That's as mainstream of a cast as it can get. Agnipath also has a similar story, a son avenging his father. But it's far superior than Animal in terms of storytelling, in terms of characters and their motivations and their morals, treatment of actors on screen, and the overall environment and feel of the film. Now, there is not as much bloodshed as there is in Animal, but there is a decent amount of that in Agnipath as well. And when seen in the context of the story, the scenes in Agnipath are much more emotionally engaging and thrilling. Vijay Chauhan and Kancha Cheena have a history together. Vijay Chauhan and Rauf Lala have a bond, which makes the progression of the story much more engaging when Vijay betrays Rauf Lala and Lala retaliates. Haram ke pille. Not only the story, but the way those scenes are constructed and shot and directed and edited, they are very, very cinematic. With the music, the slow motion walk, wind blowing Hrithik Roshan's hair, and the aura and the anger that Hrithik Roshan brings to the character. The final execution of Kancha Cheena is one of the most hard-hitting and powerful scenes in Bollywood. Not only is it violent, but in the context of the story, it has the potential to give someone goosebumps. The hero reciting a poetry taught to him by his father while hanging his father's murderer, it is cinematic gold right there. Agneepath! Agneepath! Now, violence in movies exists. It has existed for a long time and it will exist forever. But violence is more impactful in films when it's emotionally engaging. When it's not, it just ends up being funny. In Pulp Fiction, when Vincent accidentally shoots Marvin in the face, that scene becomes quite funny and hilarious, not only because of their reactions. Oh, what's happening? Oh, man, man. Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face. Why the fuck did you do that? Well, I didn't mean to do it, it was an accident. But also because of the fact that we have no emotional connection to Marvin. When Cliff Booth slams a girl's face into a million different things, or when Hitler gets killed at the end of Inglourious Bastards, those scenes are emotionally moving because they subvert horrific real life events. In Kill Bill, when the bride slaughters the crazy 88, it's funny and over the top and hyper violent. But when she fights Oren Ishii, the fight is comparatively more grounded and slow paced because of the emotional stake of that scene in the context of the story. So while everyone was busy bringing up Quentin Tarantino in the comment section of my animal review, I would like to remind them that the violence in Quentin Tarantino movies are in accordance with the tone of his film. When Homelander lasers people in half, it induces fear. When Rolex chops a guy's head off, it's shocking. And when John Wick goes on to murder herds and herds of people, it's not emotionally engaging, but it's visually thrilling and so fucking satisfying. Even in Animal, when Ranbir Kapoor strangles his own brother in law, then proceeds to shoot him in the face 3 times, that scene is impactful even though we are not shown the body or the gunshots. But when we see a similar face, who in the context of the story is a different person, it just did not work for me because I knew it was a different person. And Bobby Deol's character remains underdeveloped in Animal, and therefore the final fight between Bobby Deol and Ranbir Kapoor is not emotionally engaging. And let's be honest, it was not very visually stunning fight. Overall, the point of this video is to wake people up to the countless great films that Bollywood has already produced. And while we celebrate and respect South Indian filmmakers for their vision, which is well deserved, but if we call ourselves their genuine fans, we must be willing to discuss the disappointing aspects of their film because that is the only way to let them know what works for their audience and what doesn't, so that they can consistently make good films. As I wrap up this video, I would like to give you 3 films that I feel have a really good story and a good amount of action slash violence. And I hope you would check them out. And if you have already, you would let me know your thoughts about those films in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this video.